Welcome to the show. Today's topic, online dating. So let's get right into it. So why is on online dating like even a thing? And with one word, it's just choices. Without getting too much into it and giving you what I'm about to give you, it's just as that. It gives men and women choices and a lot more. Before, the choices we got were our surroundings. If you were going to school, where you go to shop at, it was kind of within that area, or you knew coworkers or family that knew someone that, kind of that more of a traditional way, I guess, of meeting. That was more of the interpersonal way of meeting. The dating app, or just online dating, I mean, it's been going on for a while. I know right now we kind of associated with our Tinders, a Bumble, and so on and so forth, because there's so many. I know I say that wrong, but there's so many dating apps out there. It's just given men and women more choices, and this is in one area where actually men have benefited from, with online dating now being more of the wave of the future. So, and is that a good thing? Is that, a bad thing? I mean, that people are debating that now. I saw a video where it said it was, online dating was the end of Western civilization. So, and she had, interesting points, and a lot of valid points, honestly. If I'm critiquing it, it was very thoughtful and thought out, and she hit on a lot of points where I understood it. She saw it in a very negative, and she wasn't on the platform, in any platform, for a long period of time. It was kind of a scripted short period of time, so she had a very negative view, of course, of it. But that topic is being debated, whether it's good or not, whether it's beneficial for relationships, whether it's not. I mean, the numbers, you could just look up those numbers. I mean, Tinder releases uh, their statistics where they ask people, questions and surveys, or however they come up there. These apps get their numbers from, and they release them, and just plain through news outlets doing their own, a bright idea in a newsroom one day turns into a small survey of 3,200 people in their local cities. So you kind of get these views of how everyone online dating, and the numbers are actually not surprising, and the way they're trending is only to be expected. And the more and more we go down this road, it's just kind of the way things are evolving. So instead of complaining about it, I want to more or less, probably a little, complain about it, because it is a weird dynamic. Also, put out a realistic idea of what online dating is, and why I personally think it's a good thing to have online dating. But you have to understand how to use it, and it's one of the things that I'll dive into towards the end of this, as far as like how you should use an app. The question, when it's just, why is online dating a thing? And I heard that personally, and I also, you could go on YouTube and see videos where that question is that literal question. My first question is being answered or asked, like, why is online dating even a thing? Why people aren't going up to each other and introducing and meeting that way? And the cultural effect about it, like, why is this happening? And reading some of the research on it, and seeing how, when you have a generation that is growing up in this easy technology, it's creating a different kind of breed of human, which is interesting to see. And some of the dynamics which is causing this is just the accessibility, right, of online. I mean, it's just so easy, where if you're in your 35s to 45s, you were on the cusp of technology. You were just in that boom where it took off. So we kind of remember having to go up to people or girls and ask them, or write the stupid notes in class, if you remember that from being that young. Because everyone is so easy with technology, the numbers are just gonna keep on going up higher. So my point is, why even, or one of my viewpoints that I, or not even viewpoints, but just what I tell people is, it's inevitable, to take a line from Thanos. I think it's just the way it's gonna go. So, and just because there's so many choices, and culture now tells us, like, go out, go find yourself, and do this, do that, and find out what you like, what you don't like. So when you preach that, the choir is gonna sing it, and that's a reflection of what we're seeing. So when a platform, and I'm not here to question whether the platform is good or not. Obviously, let me take that back. I am arguing whether this platform is good or not, and obviously I'm not trying. I'm making it, and I don't think I need to make it. I think the numbers speak for itself. I think if used correctly, can be used as a tool in finding that someone, right? And I think that's what it's intended to. And some people demonize it as being like this, destruction of the, like, in, I think I said that earlier, the very thought outful, YouTube video. And I'm sure there's several articles of the same topic, of the destruction of the Western world, and online dating was one of the reasons. And she, like I said, it was very thoughtful. But it's just the way it goes, and even she acknowledged it, that it's the way to go. And for it wasn't the thing for her. But again, I think I said it in the beginning. I don't think she allowed it for the numbers to make sense. And coming from a skeptical, logical mind, that was kind of disappointing. Only because you would think you would understand the laws of randomness, and then just say, hey, let me just sit here for 365 days, as opposed to 2 months or 3 months. And I get it, we're in a go society, and it's something that it's gonna lead to, but I don't think we're there yet. But in that same breath, because online dating is just it's just feeding an addict, it's a drug, it's that swiping scene. It is what it is, and it's made men and women equally. And again, like I've said earlier, it's given men, which is the one thing you could say about it. I don't know if it's an unfair advantage, but definitely an advantage, where you hear more and more women like that men don't want to settle down, and so on. In this story, and hear another story that men just cheat, and I'll get to cheating towards the end because it's just a small part. So it's just given men more of just okay, more of accessibility, more choices, and it's given women the same equal choices to do what they want with their bodies, and do as they will, with their lives, which they should. So, but in that, there's always a reaction to something, and unintentionally, this is a reaction to the online dating. So obviously, point of that is that it just for men, because they don't have to commit. And I'm not preaching that this is a good thing or not, or saying that if it's a good thing or not. And you'll see it in when I get to my third, I guess, of this whole thing. That's just not what I that's not the point that I'm trying to get across from. It's just that there is some truth to it. If you have so many choices, obviously you're gonna get an idea that okay, this girl's cool and she's good. What if I could get something better? What if I just keep this app for another 2 months? I got this girl, and the last girl was better than this girl, and the one before that one was like, oh, so what if I'm stuck with this one, and she develops an attitude? Or you develop this idea of all women are a certain way, so you just say, well, why should I? Because eventually it's going to go down the same road, so I might miss out on many women, and then you end up most some men, not all men, most men, debatable, but they'll keep their app somehow on their phone, and then they get caught up and what, you hear a lot of the stories. So it's just one of those things, and I get it. It's an unintended consequence of just why online dating is a thing, and unfortunately or fortunately, people have to be accountable and have standards, and then not use, oh, it's online dating, and I sleep around with a bunch of useless women, or a bunch of, in women's cases, if they're listening to this show, sleeping with a bunch of random dudes, and blame it and on all men are all men are dicks, and using online dating as a horrible experience, or the reason why everything, though they can't find their significant other. Does online working does here's where I'm gonna get into my numbers, or not in a dork mode, because again, these are just basic facts. I could have gone deeper, but I'm or at least not now. But it goes, does online dating work? So around, and this is accessible, not crazy. It was just with a couple of quick Google searches or keyword searches, I found it. Not even heavy ones, like online dating statistics kind of was one, and I think the other one was, does online dating work? So it wasn't like crazy ass key searches. So it's basically really really basic, just to prove the point that I'm trying to make at the end. But anyways, digression over. So 30% of Americans are using online dating apps, or are using, or on some platform are on their dating. So around 30%. That currently is around 99 million Americans that are on dating apps, if I'm doing the math correctly. Because I think the census was 375 million, maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, so around 99 million, or 30% of Americans are on dating apps. That's a huge jump. And honestly, I think that number is low. I think that number should be probably closer to 40%, because I just think, just the way our culture is, and 40 is probably being my low point. If I really was being from 40, it'll probably be up to, yeah, like 45% to 50%. I think of Americans are probably on dating apps, and even though people don't associate Facebook dating apps, or Instagram with dating apps, or Snapchats with dating apps, and maybe Snapchats they do, those should be, that's where most of the unfaithfulness comes in, quote unquote, is through those platforms, not really through, I mean, there is some obviously through dating apps, but Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that kind of stuff, those are used for those numbers on infidelity, or who have used those kind of platforms for infidelity, is pretty alarming, to say the least. So though, that's why I think that number, as far as dating apps, and I get where they're getting their number from, but if you include Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, Instagram and such, that number balloons. That's another 20% easy. So I'm trying to be modest and giving humans and the benefit of the doubt, but the numbers just don't prove that, unfortunately, which is, however you see it, it could be an opportunity to stand out, or it could be the decline of whatever your point that you want to do. So again, 30% of Americans are, basically online dating. I think that number is too low. Should be around 45 to 50%, if not higher. 12% of those 30% are in committed relationships. 18 currently, or say, okay, so 12% of the 30% that are dating app are in a committed relationship. So right there, I think it shows, which I think that number is higher. So that number should really be reflective of the 50%, app, or where I think it's at. So that should be closer to 24. But even like this, that's almost 50-50. So almost 50% of the people use online dating are in committed relationship. That is a pretty good success rate. 50-50 shot for you to be in a relationship. So I mean, I'm no math whiz, but those are fair odds if you ask me. 18% of those, 18 of the 30% currently using them. That means they're currently, like, I guess, dating. So out of the 30% of Americans using dating apps, 18% are currently using them, and that 18% should go to the other one, to the 12%, and then we'll double that, where I said we should be around the 50%, and that would be a truer number, where I think we're actually at, or at least more of towards the bottom where we actually are. But so 30% of out of those 30% of Americans that are dating, 18% of them are currently using them to go out on dates, to try to meet other people. So again, that number is super high. That number is, so again, positive. Is that a good sign? Of course it is. It means people are using it to be able to at least have a flow of women or men to be able to choose from. 57 people that have experienced online dating or have a positive outlook on online dating. So for, again, I think that number is low. I think that number, it should be upped more. So I think it will be more reflective, around 70%. I think have a positive outlook, if you include the unfaithfulness, the cheating, all that, the people living double lives, and meeting new people, the single life and all that. That's why I balloon it up. And people say, what are you talking about cheating? I'm like, yeah, because if you were looking to cheat, obviously the dating app provided a service. So the dating app, it's not the dating app that you're a scum, that you don't have boundaries and standards. So the platform is just there. You're the douche that goes in there and says, hey, I want to cheat on my husband, or hey, I want to go in there and cheat on my wife, and then build a profile on Tinder, Bumble, Plenty of Fish, etc. Do all these crazy things, hit up people on Facebook and Instagram, like, so it did its purpose. It did what it was supposed to do, was introduce you to new people. You're the one that had malintentions, and then that's when you use the platform incorrectly, and yet people want to blame it on the technology and don't take ownership of. But just because it's we have choices doesn't mean you have to act on those choices. So anyways, I'm digressing to that point. So in a quick short answer, does online dating work? After the brief numbers and explanation to each one, I think obviously it's yes, it works, and the numbers obviously reflect it. It's just growing and growing, and that's just the way of the future. I think that we're going, that whether you think it's right, whether you think it's wrong, maybe I'll make a point or a podcast debating that point, but I'm not making that now, and there's plenty of other people debating that right now. But does online dating work? I mean, it's clearly it is. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So here's where I'm gonna get ethical the rest of this thing. So, because I just wrote, so how should you use dating apps? So I'm gonna go about it kind of like unisex, like one size fits all. And if I digress, just add the gender of what you're seeking to the where I misgenderify or whatever. How should you use dating? So this is the ethical way, again, of doing it. This is the correct, non-scummy way of doing it. Again, this is the only way that you should use dating apps and not be a scummy fucking person. The only time you should be looking at an app, end of story, disclaimer or parentheses or whatever. If you're into some kind of swinging or etc., or some kind of weird alternate lifestyle, obviously apps might be useful. So obviously this doesn't apply to you. Happy for you. Okay. But if you're just looking for being If you're just single, then that's when dating apps, you should download an or have a dating app, and you should then use that dating app. So if you're single, now once you're single, you download the app, you're good. Now after that, what you're gonna use that app for is completely up to you. Are you a serial dater, or are you a serial monogamist? Are you interested in certain things, and using this as a breakup? As long as you are using this as a, I don't want to be cruel, but it does happen. Use it as a crutch, after a breakup or going through a bad time. But as long as you're being adult and honest and upfront, the ethical way, I think you should use it again. And then you use it until you match with someone that you think has potential to build a relationship. Now, again, I could attach this to my date progression, and you attach that to that. So once you meet someone and go take them out on a coffee date, or you meet someone out in public and you have that hit, and you really want to you feel that connection, in coffee, and then you take it to the dinner date, and you still feel that connection, and you progress it to a fun date, and like you want to take that step with this girl. That's when the dating app gets deleted. That's when everything stops. Our forward motion with everyone else is put on hold, or not put on hold, put to rest. It's ended. You're sending texts. Unfortunately, hearts are gonna be broken, and shit's gonna happen, with it. Hopefully not. Hopefully everybody's an adult and respectful in the whole process. But once you know, definitely. And again, we can't sit here and what if she this, what if she that, what if, oh, what. No. Once you this, again, we're talking about ethically. This is because, again, I'm gonna hit the cheating numbers here just for a flash. But ethically, this is what you have to do. Once you meet that girl that got your interest, you gotta shut everything down. Once you do, you should delete the app, then start focusing on setting your boundaries and your standards. And she has to qualify herself that way. And if she doesn't, guess what? You could always, most of these apps, you could bring your profile back up if she gets disqualified, and then you find out that she's no longer girlfriend material because she disqualified herself, whatever, 4 or 5 months into the relationship. Then so be it. But it only comes up when you're single, when there is a breakup, because once you do that, the only healthy way you're going to set healthy boundaries and standards, and what you like and what you don't like, if you're focused 100% in that woman or that person, whatever, and making sure that you understand that person, understand your likes and dislikes, and then start making the proper progressions within time happen. I guess, whatever happened. But if she disqualifies, fine, you're single, the breakup, then you repeat the process if you have to until you meet someone. Again, I said earlier, if you're a serial dater and want to be single for a while, and dating app is just a good way for you to hook up, then by all means, that's you, as long as you're being honest and upfront with everyone. And trust me, we could go down another video just as far as like how being honest does it work, does it not work. I mean, you'll be surprised at the numbers just in that aspect. So another thing I wrote down here, I wrote down people in relation. So again, let me before I move on. So single people is the only time it's correct. Anything else than that, you're scummy. You're a scummy person. So again, before I'm gonna read, but that's the only time you should be ethically on a dating app. If you have no morals, no ethics, no standards, then obviously, no matter what I tell you, you're going to do whatever the hell you want. You don't care, and you're going to do you. So, but just understand that you're going to be scummy, and you're misleading, and you're just a douche. And if you're a female, the same way. I know it sounds like I'm a male, but you attach those to you because you are the same thing. Again, I'm on for male powerness and all that stuff, but we can't complain about something when you don't even know what how to do it, or you're doing it incorrectly because you have doubts, because what if this what's around the corner, grass is greener effect, the again, my first point, choices. Of course, that's what makes online dating addictive, is that you could meet a blonde or a brunette, or big, big chest, small chest, big butt, it's basically like a candy store, my god. So trust me, I get it. But if you have to have morals and standards, and that's what we're missing. So the only time is when you're single. People in relationships should not be on any app at all. Only when the relationship ends. I can't make that point more clear than saying it just bluntly as I am saying it now. Why? Just 'cause it leads into temptation. Too much temptation. Again, choices. The same thing that we go on the for my where I started making these points with choices, and then I told you guys what the numbers and how it's all going skyward. So if you want to build some kind of relationship, you can't have temptation, because we're so valuable, we're so weak that we could be tempted. And that's what infidelity happens. And I get it. You might cheat and she might be gorgeous and she might be everything, but you throw everything and you have an angry divorce, and you develop, this, or you have a bitter breakup, and then you develop this whole bad idea that all women are this, or women are that, or again, attach whatever gender the hell you want to attach to get the point across. But that's the problem, where with that temptation being there, you just can't be there. So it's only setting yourself up for failure. It's only setting yourself. It's a ticking time bomb when a fight happens, when an argument happens. You know what? To take a quick look, and then all of a sudden, this cute, female that doesn't get under your, on your nerves is winking you, calling you sexy, calling you like, oh, handsome, and what she would do to you, and you're like, oh, and then your girlfriend or your wife is nagging on you. So if you have that temptation, it's so easy to give yourself a pass. And you might say, oh, I'm strong. Obviously not, because right, an article came out, I can't remember, it was all over the internet, all over Twitter and everything, about how it said it was basically that 50-50 men and women cheat. Or no, I'm sorry, the article was 50% of women admit to having side boyfriend. 50% of women admitted to having a side boyfriend, or someone other than their husband, or committed. Of course, that number is lower than what it should be. So that means, let's just inflate it for what we've been, 20%. So 70% of women have admitted to saying, I have a side boyfriend, or someone on the side. That number right there is heartbreaking, and it makes the point for everything that when they say that women, but it's just because of choices. There's just too much choices. So ethically, if you enter in relationship, and you have to be done with it, you have to be over the relationship, separated, start using dating apps to meet new people. And whether you're working through your traumas, you shouldn't really be, but but at least you're doing it ethically. You're not hurting no one, you're not cheating on no one. So when close to like 50 to 70% of women have someone on the side, it probably the same for men. That means that men have them on the side. There's equal cheating going both ways. But men and women are different. They're just designed different. It's not the same to be just sleeping around and having all these partners. For the most part, men do it because there's some kind of sexual need, desire, that they're not being met, as opposed to women. It's very emotional. It's a very connecting thing. I mean, it's, if you believe in the feminine energy, I mean, you this is right down your alley. Women are the feminine, and men are the masculine, obviously, and that's just the way they're supposed to intertwine. But if you have this non-caring and just casually sleeping and cheating, and monogamy doesn't matter, and faithfulness doesn't matter, and loyalty doesn't matter, that's why you cannot be trusted. I don't care if you say you can be trusted. The numbers suggest that you won't. So if like someone's saying, look, if you take this drug, if like a doctor telling you, if you take this drug, I'm just telling you that 3 out of 4 people get addicted. So you're gonna be like, well, I'll be that fourth. Likely though, you're gonna be one of the three. But no, 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 I'll be the fourth. I get it, but you're probably be one of the three. And that's the delusion that we set ourselves in, that I won't cheat. I won't cross a boundary. I won't flirt. I won't do this. But the numbers aren't just in your favor. So no one, male or female, should stand. Once you've crossed what you identify that you want to proceed and take this stuff, and you know that it's serious, it should be no problem. And fellas, if she gives you any grief, whether you bring it up like, look, I met you, and that's if you met online and you have some kind of suspicion, or you met online, or not kind of suspicion, but if you met online, obviously, and there should be that discussion. Hey, I'm gonna delete my app because I want to focus on you. I want to, whatever, not saying that men should bring up that conversation, but in the conversation, when she asks, where is this going? Are we going to be exclusive? Wherever. But again, I say for us men, and it should be for women too, there should be a focus to really, really see it. And that's what I said. I get it, the inconvenience of deleting and adding an app, but a little inconvenience doesn't hurt anybody. But you should really focus on being on focus on that relationship and building that relationship. And again, not that I want to control anyone, but it's just too tempting. So again, ethically and morally, and not being a scummy, you delete the app because the numbers show that people cheat. 70% of women, or not even women, 70% of people are unhappy in relationships. So let's pop that again, 20%. So 70 to 90% of people are not happy in relationships. Is it because the choices of dating app, because you never know if you're safe, because people are, what X about? I don't think so. I think, there's so many reasons that, people let go, people forget to date, people made choices too quickly, so many factors. So my whole thing with this has been to look at online dating in a positive way, to see it as a tool in meeting someone, and in a positive spin. You hear so much negative about it, how it's used to do evil stuff, and of course they are. And those are really, really scummy people that don't have a set any kind of standards or boundaries. And you just have to take that as it is. You have to just have better mechanisms to filter those kind of people out. Will it be perfect? Sadly, no. People eventually, things get in, stuff happens, but if for the most part, again, it is the wave of the future. The numbers show that, at least for now, they're having a positive experience. And I think that, again, that those numbers are way higher. I said 57. It should be closer to 77, somewhere around there, or 70 to 77% that are extremely happy, because at the end of the day, it's accomplishing what it's set out, is to connect people. And again, the cheating numbers, the unfaithfulness, the divorce rates, just all these kind of numbers that just point to how everyone is unhappy. And that's what makes the rise, because everyone is so unhappy in whatever reasons, for whatever reasons. Obviously, online dating is that. And again, I'm calling you guys scummy, because you guys shouldn't be doing that. The only time you should be ever on a dating app is when you're single, and when you meet someone that you're interested, then everything goes stop. As I say, you delete apps. So don't look at online dating and for its negatives, because there's gonna be so many negatives on there, but there's so many positives. So use that to your advantage. There's great people out there. There's great opportunity and adventure and experiences and conversations out there just waiting to happen. And think of online dating as just one more way to just get closer to being able to meet some amazing people. Are there going to be weirdos around the way? Guess what? You go out of your house right now and go to the store, there might be a couple of weirdos on your way to your store. So the final point that I wrote was, use, online dating apps, social media apps as one of many and not all things, for to get to know one. And just like in life, it's a 50-50 shot. You have a 50-50 shot in life. It was that before, and now I think technology is, or dating apps, and dating apps slash social media, it's not just reflecting that it's going to be 50-50, and it's going to skew again. If you believe in variations, it's going to go one way or another. It's going to fluctuate, of course, but 50-50 to just be in the safe spot is the area. So if it's 50-50 online, why the hell not? Take your chance. It's 50-50 with life. There's a chance you might make it. There's a chance you might not. That's what all the motivational videos are made out of and whatnot. So why look at it in a negative view? I get that there's certain ideologies, there's certain stuff that we shouldn't do, but that's when you have morals and standards and you uphold them, and you say, you know what, if I want to meet a person of character, then I have to be a person of character. So if you're single, have fun, do you, download the apps, play the field, find that special someone. But if you find that special someone, then you should delete the app. You should delete the app and focus and see if this person qualifies herself, makes herself, the best, if it's the best version or best person for you, that's going to help you be a better version for yourself, that will help you grow, that you guys are on the same path. And if she disqualifies herself and you guys break up, then by all means, go back, get the app, and start the cycle again until you meet someone new. If you're a married person or you're in a relationship with someone and you're using the app, you're scummy. Get off the app and focus on your relationship and fixing that and setting boundaries and standards, so then you can figure out if that person that you're cheating on and being unfaithful on can meet your standards and expectations. That way you can break up or divorce or whatever, and then by all means download the app and meet someone new that is more suitable to your taste. But until then, you're a freaking douche and you're scummy. So I hope you found this information interesting. I hope I made you think. Share the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching. Stay online dating. I think it's healthy, it's good, but don't be scummy. Don't use it for scummy things. I'll see you next time.